Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3, testing.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Happy Thursday. Thank you for attending our April 16, 2026 Planning Commission meeting. The time is 5:33, and we will call this meeting to order. Director Todd, can you have a roll call, please?
You certainly may, Mr. Chair. Commissioner Bennett,
Present.
Commissioner Daniels,
Present.
Commissioner Esparza,
Present.
Commissioner Harrison,
Present.
Commissioner Russell,
Here.
Commissioner Smith,
Present.
and Commissioner Udabi.
She's on the way.
Yes. Mr. Chair, Commissioners, you have a quorum present.
All right. Thank you. Next, we have the approval of the agenda. If there are no amendments to the agenda, then I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
There are none, Mr. Chair.
All right, we got a motion by Commissioner Bennett and a second by Commissioner Russell. All in support of approving the agenda as presented indicate that with a sign of aye.
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 In opposition, sign of nay. All right, the agenda has been approved as presented. Next, we have the meeting minutes for December 4th, 2025. I am entertaining a motion to approve the meeting minutes for December 4th, 2025. Thank you, Commissioner Bennett. Do we have a second?
Support it.
Commissioner Harrison, thank you for the support. All in support of approving the motion to approve the December 4, 2025 meeting minutes indicate so with the sign of aye.
Aye.
Aye. And all in opposition, sign of nay. All right, there are no nays, so the December 4th meeting minutes have been approved. Next, we have the one public hearing. It's a 5:15 public hearing. This is to consider the request of the Planning and Development Department to amend the master plan of policies by amending the future general land use map from RM medium density residential to IL light industrial and CT commercial thoroughfare for the area generally bounded by McGraw Avenue, 31st Street, Edsel Ford Freeway, and the western line of 35th Street, and the vacated portion of 35th Street between McGraw Avenue and Edsel Ford Freeway. Master plan change number 33. Mr. Jeffries, how are you doing?
Doing well, Mr. Chair.
Good, good. And Ms. Dolores Perales?
I'm good. How are you?
Perales, I'm good. How are you doing? All right, well, whenever you two are ready.
Mr. Dolores is going to be helping with us with this item today, and we also have Mr. Moots on the
Yes, Mr. Moose, welcome. I see you here on the screen. Welcome.
Good evening, Commissioners. Thank you.
All right, whenever you're ready.
Thank you, Commissioners. Mr. Are you able to share your screen, or do you need me to share?
I can do that right now. Yep.
Perfect. Well, Mr. Moots is doing that. As a brief refresher on the request before you today, Junction McGraw LLC, representing Vladimir Ashley Development Group, is a Detroit-based joint venture who is proposing a new development on a roughly 30-acre site near McGraw Avenue. The proposal includes a 400,000 square foot speculative build intended to attract mobility or light industrial users spanning approximately 173 acres. As a refresher, on March 5th, 2026, the City Planning Commission held a public hearing on this request where the commissioners did take action to approve this rezoning for both M2 and B4. Currently, the site is designated as low to medium density residential in the adopted master plan, but because the proposed zoning is not consistent with this designation, a master plan amendment is required. Today's request is to update the future land use classification to light industrial and commercial thoroughfare to align with the approved rezoning, and hence the reason why we are here with this requested amendment. And with that, I will pass it to Mr. Moots to discuss the master plan amendment.
Thank you. Good evening, commissioners. Just to, again, as a refresher, I know you saw this a couple weeks ago, the site before us. This is the aerial obviously taken a few months ago. Looking to the northeast from the site, this is the proposed development of the site looking from the adjacent I-94 expressway. The amendment before you is, as Ms. Prowlis said, to amend the master plan from the RM, medium density residential, to both light industrial and the commercial thoroughfare. This aligns the rezoning, the previously approved rezoning, with the proposed master plan classification. We've broken the site up into what we're calling area site 1 and site 2. Site 1 is the much larger site on the west. That would be the site that was rezoned, that you recommended rezoning to M2, and then site 2 here, the smaller site on the east, would correspond to what you recommended the rezoning to be for. So again, the whole site currently is designated RM medium density residential, dating back, of course, to when the site was used for a mix of recreation and residential. Now the site is, of course, vacant. The light industrial, according to the master plan, is for low intensity uses. Those uses which should have a minimum impact on adjacent uses, and examples of those uses are warehousing, assembly, and packaging. So obviously that aligns very well with the proposed development that's before you. Again, that IL would be on the west side of the site and matches the N is consistent in the zoning crosswalk in the master plan with the M2 zoning. And then that smaller site, site 2, would be the CT thoroughfare commercial, which aligns with B4 zoning, and that would act as the buffer between the medium density residential designation that's still further east and that industrial use, the warehouse use to the west. This is consistent with the B4 zoning and would permit those uses that were discussed previously, the commercial uses or potential open space use. That concludes my brief presentation, but since you've seen all of this before, honestly, didn't want to bore you with repeating everything again. I'm, of course, more than happy to answer any questions that you may have. And the developer, Mr. Morton from Ashley Capital, is also available to answer any questions about the project that you may not have asked during the rezoning process. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the Thank you for the presentation. Commissioners, did you have any questions for staff? All right. I do not see any questions. So just a brief question. I think I heard this. I just want to clarify. So this master plan update supports the previous rezoning we did, or it's in line with the previous rezoning did for Ashley Capital? So this kind
100%. Yes, sir.
The left hand talking to the right hand kind of thing.
Absolutely, yeah. The master plan and the zoning, unfortunately, just didn't line up at the time of the commission. They should line up. The hearings should be on the same day when they get to the hearings at City Council, as the zoning has the longer public hearing notice requirement than the master plan. So even though they were a bit out of sync at commission by a couple weeks, when they get to the City Council, they should be heard on the same day.
Okay, and council can just make two separate actions in the same day and address it all.
Exactly, yes, sir.
Got you. Okay. Well, I think that makes total sense from my side. Thank you for that presentation. So this is a public hearing. So in our typical format for public hearings, it's an opportunity for residents and participants here in the meeting to participate in the meeting by providing comments based on what they've heard, or if they have questions related to a particular item. In this case, it is the future land use update as provided. So with that, we will open the public hearing for this item. If you are present here in the room and want to provide input or ask questions, you can do so by reaching out to staff, and then staff will bring your comment card to the front and we would acknowledge you in that fashion. If you are attending the meeting virtually inside the Zoom platform and would like to participate in the public hearing, you can raise your hand within Zoom, and then we will call you and acknowledge you in that fashion. With that, staff, who is assisting with the panelist?
I will be, Mr. Chair.
All right, thank you. Do we have any virtual hands?
Mr. Chair, we have 2 virtual hands raised.
Okay, if we could move them over one by one so they can be heard.
The first speaker is Theo Pride, and they should be allowed to speak.
Hello, welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Thank you to this body for the opportunity to speak on this matter. My name is Theo Pride. I'm with Detroit People's Platform. We've been working with residents in the McGraw neighborhood and United Block Club Council, and wanted to touch on some of the issues community has raised with the newly proposed industrial development here before you all, seeking zoning changes. I think all of the usual benefits proposed with the development in general are important. Jobs, the activation of unused land and property, all of the taxes that it'll generate. But of course, weighing those benefits against the negative impacts are important as well. There will be, of course, environmental impacts, truck impacts, air quality impacts. But on top of all that, the zoning changes dramatically changes the spatial character of the community. Notably, the closing down of streets and travel routes residents use to access spaces, places, and resources. It also seems to obstruct the flow of residents from McGraw and parts of District 7 from Southwest. In this way, there is a risk of isolating and segregating certain areas and community and folks, similar to what we've seen with urban renewal and highway construction in the 1950s and 60s. Considering this, I think a plan is important. A community benefits plan that outlines how impacts will be mitigated to ensure that this development is as equitable as possible. Thank you.
Thank you.
The next caller is Ethelyn Carroll, and they should be allowed to speak now.
Hello, welcome.
Uh,
Hello. Might
can
be
you
on.
hear me?
Yes, there you go. We hear you.
Okay. Sorry about that. Ethel and Carroll, United Block Club Council. Yes, we have attended all the meetings with the developers. They have made some changes, but they're going to build a 390,000 square foot industrial block building. They're going to build it, lease it, and collect rents. They're also getting tax incentives from the city. The changes they have made do benefit them, but it will change the landscape of our community, and residents have expressed concerns about their home values. We have presented a draft document to them, a voluntary draft doc, because we understand it's below the 75 million threshold, and we will on some of our issues and concerns incorporated into the document that they're drafting to present to you, yourself, Brownsville, and the city council. We do want the residents that have expressed about their home values, the fact we have put in about a home improvement grant for the impact area, signage, uh, and banners for representing the Crown area, what it was, and a community land trust, because we want first right to. They are going to donate 3 acres to us, but we want the residents and the businesses and the contractors in the community, the impact area, Chatsey County and Midwest Timer, they have first right and not um, be just put out to the general public. So we just want things incorporated into one agreement with them, and we want those issues in writing into their agreement. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, there are no other hands raised.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Prowlis. Do we have any in-person comments?
There is not.
All right. If there are no in-person comments, we will go and close the public hearing for this item. Staff, you want to bring this item back? Do you want action this evening? Kind of what's your take, or how would you like to proceed?
Mr. Chair, if this honorable body is prepared, we're prepared to make a recommendation to approve. I believe we will have to waive.
Same day action requirements.
Since it's related to a previous matter that we took action on, we would not need to waive the criteria, so we could take action today.
Okay. And staff's recommendation is to approve?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Jeffrey. Commissioners?
Move approval, Mr. Chair, of this action item.
Thank you, Commissioner Daniels. Do we have a second?
Support.
Thank you, Commissioner Russell.
Under discussion?
Director Todd, can we do discussion, even though we have a motion and support?
Yes.
Okay. Discussion, Commissioner Esparza.
Chairman and Director, if it's appropriate, I know we heard some comments by citizens regarding this request, and I'd like to at least give the representative for the petitioner an opportunity, if he chooses to speak in response to those comments. Either way, he can, or if he chooses not to, that would be his preference. But
Thank you, Commissioner Esparza. Director Todd.
Certainly, Mr. Chair, it is, if that is the request of the commission, the desire of the commission, can invite the petitioner to the table to do so.
Are they
Or not the petitioner,
virtually?
but,
The developer.
The developer is virtual, and they are available to speak.
Okay. You want to move them over?
They've been moved over.
Okay.
Mr. Morton should be able to speak. It does appear he is unmuted. I'm unsure if he's having technical difficulties.
Okay.
Are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, just didn't know if you could see me or hear me. Good evening, Kyle Morton, Ashley Capital, representing the joint venture Latimer Ashley Development Group. So I would say both comments, comments in the public comment period echo similar sentiments. And I think we've done a great job, as outlined in the two presentations that we made to CPC prior, about all the changes to the project that were made in terms of addressing the environmental and truck impacts, changing the road impacts, specifically the comments relating to isolating neighborhoods and obstructing traffic flow. We've working with DPW to keep roads open, reopen roads, and keep the Junction Avenue Bridge open. And then just specifically to the voluntary community benefits agreement, what we've been messaging both at prior CPC meetings and all the community meetings is that a lot of the concepts that would be the items for the community, the future community space that we're donating to the community, the honoring the Kronk Gym, the 3-acre space that Ms. Carroll referenced, will all be incorporated into the development agreement between the development team and the city. So our goal is to have that one development agreement with the city be the document, rather than the development group have a development agreement with the city and then also have an agreement with a community organization that is largely duplicative. So all those items that we've agreed to will be spelled out and be provided to the public, obviously at the Brownfield meeting before that's signed. So to make sure we've covered everything that we've committed to. So hopefully that addresses the commissioner's concerns about or requests for the comment or response to those comments.
Thank you.
thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Director. And thank you to the petitioner for going on the record.
Thank you.
All right. We do have a motion on the floor and a second to approve staff's recommendation. Is there any further discussion on this item? All right. I see no further discussion. Since we do have a motion and second, I will entertain a motion to approve staff's recommendation for the master plan change number 33. Say it again. Oh, call for the vote. Okay. Calling for the vote. All in support of approving staff's recommendation. All in support of approving staff's recommendation indicate your support with the sign of aye.
Aye.
Aye. And all in opposition, sign of nay. All right. There are no nays, so that motion passes. So if you can, Mr. Jeffrey, if you can close this item out, or Ms. Perales, whoever would like, close this item out with next steps and what we can expect going forward.
Mr. Chair, the next steps are that this matter will move forward. We are working with the law department to continue with the rezoning to receive and approved as the form ordinance for the rezoning and for the rezoning. So as that is being finalized, we will take this matter for the master plan, and once the rezoning ordinance is approved as the form, we'll take this and produce a resolution that will proceed to the city council along with the zoning ordinance, and to be put on council's agenda at the appropriate time to be scheduled for public hearings, and the master plan to be taken up as a line item for discussion at the city council. So we'll be notifying the public of those dates so that they can be informed and also attend those meetings as well.
Okay. All right. Thank you, sir.
No problem.
Thank you, Ms. Perales.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Moots. All right. Next on the agenda is general public comment. So this is similar to our public hearing, which we just held. It's an opportunity for residents and individuals here in the room or participating virtually to provide comments or questions related to any particular item, agenda item or not. In the same fashion, if you are here in the room and you would like to participate, you can get staff a yellow comment card. We will call you up, and there are microphones to my left, your right. You can go ahead and sit there at the base. There is a red light. When it's your turn to speak, you tap that base, it will turn green, and you will have 2 minutes to speak. If you are participating virtually within the Zoom platform, your process will be very similar. You will just have to raise your hand within the Zoom platform. We will acknowledge you in that fashion, and then you will also have 2 minutes to speak. With that, we will open public comment. I do have one card for here in person. This is for Marlon Matthews. When you're ready, if you can step to the microphone to your right, hit the base, it'll turn green, and then you have 2 minutes. Anyone, yes.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Here on behalf of Famer Davish here. He's opening a produce and gas station in the neighborhood, 48238 zone, right? Longtime inhabitant over there. Other members such as Coach Rob and his organization, Stop the Violence, are all in favor of this organization moving over to bring fresh produce to the neighborhood, which would be a great thing for that neighborhood because in that area, there's nothing offered in that capacity. So we are in favor of this person coming over and opening this establishment, and I yield.
All right. Thank you. Thanks for coming this evening. All right. That concludes all the in-person cards I have. If we can switch to virtual, Ms. Perales or Mr. Brewer, whoever's looking.
Mr. Chair, we have one hand raised on virtual.
Okay. If you could move them over, please.
Okay, Miss Betty A. Varner, and she should be able to speak now.
Hello, welcome.
Welcome. Good evening to all within the sound of my voice. I'm Betty A. Barner, president of the Soda Ellsworth Black Association, and we are in the community of Finkel in Wyoming. We're excited about having Mr. Davish and his brother open up a mini market with the gas pumps, I think 6 pumps, to have a one-stop shop in our community. We are a food desert. We have many seniors. For myself, I have been living in this community in my home for over 50 years. We have come together and we are working to improve our neighborhood. We need this mini market. We need the one-stop shop. They say Mr. Dabish has spoken with us and stated they're going to have fresh produce, fresh fruit. There's going to be a deli where you can get cold foods or hot foods. And they're going to have healthier snacks. This is needed in our community. And in regards to the other gas stations, these stations are not doing anything, as far as I know, working with our community to improve it. And that's healthy competition. So maybe it will lower the prices for the people who drive. I no longer drive, but it good, healthy competition. So please, I'm asking for myself and the members of the Soda Ellsworth Black Association. We work very closely with the city of Detroit. We have done a lot to improve our community. We work with the 10th precinct. So we need this mini station. We have a lot of seniors and children in our community. We need healthier snacks. We need to have businesses working with us to help us with our goals and missions to improve our neighborhood. Thank you for this time. God bless you all.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, that was our only hand raised on virtual public comment.
Okay. If there are no virtual public comments, we will close that portion of our agenda and we will move forward to unfinished business. Under unfinished business, we have one item. This is item A, the consideration of the request of DAPCO Inc., represented by the property owner, Thamer Dabish, to amend Article XVII, Section 50, 1761, District Map Number 59 of 2019 Detroit City Code, Chapter 50 Zoning, to show a B4 General Business District zoning classification where a B2 Local Business and Residential District zoning classification is currently shown for a portion of the L-shaped property at 15321 Wyoming Street, generally located at the northwest corner of Wyoming and Finkel Streets. And Ms. DeBrewer, how are you doing this evening?
Good, Mr. Chair. I also have the petitioner is here if commissioners need him to step up and answer questions as well. And if I may, can I share my screen to share a presentation?
Yes, you may.
Thank you.
Yes, Director Todd.
Mr. Chair, while we are preparing for this, just wanted to note, unfortunately, I will have to leave before the meeting ends, likely have to leave before the meeting ends. So I ask the commission's forgiveness in advance.
All right. No, not a problem at all. Thank you, Director Todd. Always appreciate it. Whenever you're ready, Mr. Brewer.
Okay. As you mentioned, this is the request of DAPCO Inc. to rezone a portion of 15321 Wyoming from a B2 local business and residential to a B4 general business zoning classification. This is requested to allow for the redevelopment of an existing vacant structure with a motor vehicle filling station, grocery store, and hot food bar. And I apologize, there is an error that drive-through is no longer included in the plans for this site. And the proposed rezoning would also create a unified zoning on the currently split zoned parcel, which is B2 and B4. And on March 19th of this year, CPC did hold a public hearing on this matter. Again, the proposal includes gas station, convenience store, neighborhood grocery store, fresh food market, and hot food bar with drive-through. And the adjacent parking lot on the parcel, currently zoned B4, would be used for 6 fuel pumps. Mr. Chair, if you give me 1 second, I'm having an issue here.
No problem.
Okay, I apologize for that. The location of this proposed rezoning is in District 2. More specifically, it is located at the intersection of Finkel and Wyoming. In addition to the 6 fuel pumps that we discussed last time, it's also proposed for 3 EV charging stations in that adjacent area of the same parcel. Again, just as a reminder, these are the plans for the site for the exterior with the 6 pumps shown in that parking lot portion, currently zoned B4, and the grocery store / hot food in the existing building on the left side. And I know that these were gone through during the public hearing, but just shows the plans for inside of the store, the amount and size of each section of the grocery store, including produce and frozen foods and ready-to-go meals and hot foods, among other things. Again, the existing zoning is split. The part of the parcel to the south along Finkel, where the existing building is zoned B2, while to the north of that along Wyoming, the parking lot is zoned B4. This is a remnant of a large downzoning effort that took place in the early 70s that rezoned parcels along the Finkel corridor specifically from B4 to B2. The current zoning in the area is primarily residential, with the exception of Finkel and Wyoming, which are commercial, B2 along Finkel and south of Finkel on Wyoming, and B4 north of Finkel on Wyoming. The current uses surrounding it to the north is the parking lot, which is part of the subject site, R2 residential and vacant, or residential, both vacant and occupied. To the east, the B2, which is the vacant former gas station, B4, which is a financial institution, as well as past that residential. To the south is also B2. It is a gas station as well as a pharmacy, and to the west is B2 with a 24-hour laundromat. This just shows some of the businesses in the area that are adjacent to it. I would like to note the vacant lot that you see on this slide, that there were comments made during the public hearing that was going to be becoming a gas station again. We did confirm once again that is not zoned for a gas station. They could not open a gas station there. And since our public hearing was held on March 19th, the sign saying that a gas station is coming has been taken down. So the future land use for this area, or for this site and for this area, the site is neighborhood commercial. That includes the entire site, not just this portion being proposed for rezoning. To the west of the site is designated as low-density residential. To the east of the site is designated as low to medium-density residential, as well as neighborhood commercial. And further south, it is light industrial, is the classification along Wyoming. PNDD did provide us with a master plan interpretation. As I said, the designation for this site is neighborhood commercial. Some of the highlights from PNDD's interpretation was that the proposed rezoning is not anticipated to change the overall character of the neighborhood. They did note that some uses permitted in B4 are more intense than those permitted in the current B2 zoning, and that these uses should be carefully buffered to mitigate impact on residences to the west, and that the impact on transportation, specifically, as I know commissioners had questions regarding that, they did note that potential uses may create more traffic, but also noting that Finkel and Wyoming are both designated as major thoroughfares with significant capacity, and noting that there are also bus routes on both streets provided for people that choose to utilize the public transportation options. During the public hearing, we did hear from a number of community members and business owners. Prior to the hearing, we did receive one letter of support from the Finkel Avenue Business Association. During the hearing, there were 4 members of the public that spoke in support and 1 member of the public that called in to express support, which was Ms. Varner, the president of the DeSoto Ellsworth Block Club. There were also a group of local business owners and their associates that spoke in opposition. Since the public hearing, we have also received a second letter of support via email, which was attached to the recommendation report that was submitted to you. In support of this, some of the reasons that were given were the need for healthy food access in the immediate area, the fact that there has been very transparent communication between the petitioner and the community, the desire to see development on that long vacant site, and the desire to increase corridor vibrancy. In opposition, some of the reasons were given that there was possibly going to be a new gas station opening on the northeast corner of Fenkel and Wyoming, and that would cause too much congestion to have 3 there. As I mentioned, there is no planned gas station for that site. We have not received any rezoning application or anything for that. Also, the opposition stated that the petitioner was not planning to have a 24-hour operation and that they had concerns regarding safety and security because of that. But as the petitioner mentioned during the hearing, he does plan to have private security on site. And in conversations, he's had conversations with DPD, with the NPOs for the area, and none of them expressed any concerns regarding the security because they're not going to be open past 9 p.m. So in the zoning ordinance, we're provided with criteria to be considered in determining the appropriateness of a zoning map amendment. This is in section 50-3-70. I have some of these listed. If you'll bear with me, some of them are kind of long. Whether the proposed amendment corrects an error or meets the challenge of some changing condition, trend, or fact. Given that the subject site is currently split zoned, which limits development on the site due to the inconsistency, zoning this would create that unified zoning. It also, I apologize, also looking at the suitability of the subject property for the existing zoning classification and proposed zoning classification. Again, the site is split zone, currently showing both B2 and B4. Staff believes that both classifications are suitable for the subject site, but that it would be ideal for the site to be uniformly zoned rather than split. Historically, this site has served as a fast food restaurant with drive-through, which is a use permitted in B4 zoning, not in B2, and the former McDonald's restaurant drew many daily customers, and to our knowledge, operated without incident, indicating that the proposed zoning classification would be suitable for the site. The proposed rezoning would extend the existing B4 zoning on Wyoming to the Fenkel block, which is located at the same busy intersection. Whether the proposed rezoning will have significant adverse impact on the natural environment. The proposed rezoning would allow several more intensive uses to be permitted on the subject site, including the proposed fueling station. Fueling stations do have the potential to negatively impact the natural environment. However, the size of the proposed rezoning site limits the number of pumps, which is considerably lower than the average of newly opening gas stations, which are 12 to 18 pumps, and that's according to APA's research. The limited space for pumps helps to mitigate the environmental impact of the proposed rezoning. The fueling station construction is typically a risk for reducing green space. The proposed development is proposing to not or not proposing to eliminate any green space from the area, as it will utilize the existing concrete parking lot that served the former McDonald's for the fuel pumps, as opposed to paving over currently green space. Additionally, the proposed development does include 3 EV charging stations, again mitigating some of the adverse impacts. Whether the proposed amendment is consistent with the master plan and the stated purposes of this chapter, P&DD did find that the proposed amendment is generally consistent with the current master plan. They found that the rezoning will not change the overall character of the area, as the area is designated as neighborhood commercial. The neighborhood commercial designation stretches for a fairly long stretch along Finkel, but this proposed area is relatively small, given that it's half of a parcel. Whether the proposed rezoning will create an illegal spot zone, staff finds that it will not create an illegal spot zone. Whether the proposed amendment will protect the health, safety, and general welfare of the public. Rezoning the property to B4 would allow for the proposed development to move forward, which would provide additional automotive fueling options, EV charging, as well as, and importantly, the access to healthy foods, both fresh and prepared for the public. I would also like to add, we also just had 2 supporters call in that I forgot to mention when I was doing the public hearing follow-up in support of this project. With these the results of the public hearing considered and considering the approval criteria for map amendments, our staff does recommend approval of the requested rezoning of the southern portion of the parcel commonly known as 15321 Wyoming from B2 to B4.
Thank you, Mr. Broad. Thank you for that presentation and keeping this item at the forefront of our agenda. I do want to give the applicant a moment to share any updates or any things that have happened since our last meeting, and then we'll go back to commissioners from there. Hello.
So since our last meeting, we've met with a lot more of the community. We've walked the streets. We've met the neighbors, and we've talked to them about cleaning up the alley and the side alley over there. It's a city-owned or public alley. We're excited about the project. We're also I've also talked to the owners of the shopping center that's on the other side. I think it's a 8-unit shopping center. They have 3 tenants in there. I've known the guy, Samir Kunja, a lifetime friend of mine. I've also reached into my Rolodex, and I'm helping him get some tenants to fill those spaces up for himself. We've talked to community leaders and community groups, and offered our help to see how we can help the community, not just to come in and make the money. We want to put some back into the community. And I just want to share, besides the project, I just want to share my feeling, what I think about this project. I think this project is the way that the city of Detroit and these neighborhoods is going to start to operate. I don't see, and knowing people that are in the supermarket business, personally know Mike's Fresh, the owners of Mike's Fresh, all the stores. I personally know the owners of Foodland. I personally know the owners of Glory, and I've known them most of my life, and some are even relatives, close relatives. I don't see anything really coming to the city of Detroit that big in the future, in the near future. I think the future of Detroit is going to be projects like myself, where you have a lot of little spaces and neighborhoods that fill those gaps where those big supermarkets are not. The big supermarkets want main roads. They want to be on Woodward. They want to be on 8 Mile. They want to be in those kind of areas. So I think to keep things fair and to have everyone have the same opportunity to eat the same kinds of foods and not to travel far, I think what we're doing is just going to be a step into the future, and I think that's the footprint of some neighborhoods in the city of Detroit.
All right. Thank you. Mr. Brewer.
Mr. Chair, I did forget, because I had intended on adding a slide, a rather important meeting that Mr. Davish, myself, and yourself, Mr. Chair, attended with Councilmember Callaway to address any concerns, answer any questions that she and her staff had regarding this project. It was a positive, very positive meeting. We were able to address any concerns as to the uses that can go there. And Mr. Davish and the council member actually did a site visit together afterwards and spent some time in the area and specifically at that site. So I just wanted to let the commission know that there has been full transparency and discussion with the council member as well. And that was all that I forgot to add.
Thank you for sharing that. I was going to bring it up. We did have that meeting. It was a very well and productive meeting. So thank you for coming out and doing that.
It was supposed to be a half-hour meeting, and it turned into an over 2-hour meeting. And I think the councilwoman was very, very excited after. Well, she was a little not sure at the beginning, but I think after we spoke and after we showed her the site and after we showed her some of the plans and gave her some of our ideas, she was very excited, and just as much as I think we are.
I would agree. So
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Well, again, thank you for the presentation. Thank you for coming back this evening. Commissioners, do we have any questions? Commissioner Daniels.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Great presentation this before. I have a couple of questions relative to the EV charging stations. Now, gas stations, I know they're not going to be open. What about the EVs? Are they going to be accessible to the public? If someone has an EV and they want to get it charged?
Yeah, so the EVs we have no control over. Those are units that are leased out. So those, as long as the electricity is on, which we have no way of turning it off or it would turn off power to the whole property, those will be available for use.
So you already identified the vendor for that EVs, or are you still looking at it?
I don't have an exact vendor. I do have EVs at some of my properties that I own now. I don't know if they're operating in Michigan or not, but if they do, then I would use them because I've had good experiences with them, and their profit margins are very low. They deal more in volume than they do in profit.
Right. And my other question is, you're open 7 days a week?
7 days a week, yes, sir.
So is it from 8 to 9 every day, or?
From 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Monday through Saturday, and then Sundays from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m.
7 to 6 p.m., okay. All right, thank you. I know the residents, from what I've heard, are happy that you're doing something in that area, developing and bringing more fresh produce and vegetable fruits.
We're just excited as they are.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner Daniels. Any other commissioners? Commissioner Esparza.
Thank you, Chairman. Just a question. I know this is purely before us for rezoning, not a site plan review.
Correct.
If this moves forward, is there somewhere down the line that a site plan review will be conducted by another agency or the building department when permits are pulled?
Through the chair to Commissioner Esparza, yes, this has to go for a special land use through BSEED. So at that point, everything's going to be reviewed. And actually, I'm setting up a meeting for the petitioner and staff from PNDD to start looking at site plans, even though it is early on in that process, so that the commissioner or that the petitioner is aware and there's full communication so that he can move forward, having everything in place to begin with that's needed.
Great. Thank you. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Commissioner Esparza. Vice Chair, welcome.
Hi there. Thank you, Mr. Chair, and I apologize for being a little tardy, but I heard a lot of the presentation and I read through the notes. Thank you so much for coming back again. I hear that there were some adjustments, including adding the EV charging sites and that you talked with a lot of folks. So I think that's really wonderful to be able to continue to build those relationships. I think what I hear and see is that you're trying to really connect with the community and provide something that is a desert, like a food desert there. So I think that's really wonderful. My question to you is, because I hear that a large part of this project is hinging on the fact that you have the fuel stations to help lower the price of food that you want to supply. I'm curious if in your planning you had considered any other high profit margin industries or items or goods or services to offset, or did you just think about the fuel stations?
I think that's the most important component. I think everything else that's that'll generate business or that'll appeal to the public is already going to be there. We're going to have hot foods, fresh prepared foods daily. We're going to have an in-house kitchen. We're going to have 30 feet of produce and dairy. We're going to have mostly all our shelves are going to be groceries and chef-inspired salads. It's. I think everything that we have is already part of the component that we need. The other component that we're asking for, of course, is the EV stations and the pumps.
Definitely. Thank you so much. And I appreciate you reiterating the pieces that will be on the grocery side. I think that sounds really exciting, especially knowing what folks in that area would really be able to use. I read in the document or the write-up, as well as heard Mr. Brule speak about adding the EV stations to offset or mitigate the negative impacts of having fuel stations. Was that correct?
Through the chair to vice chair, the EV stations were part of the proposal prior to this coming for public hearings. So that was before it was brought to us. I just pointed out that having the EV stations is one way that, to mitigate some of the impact that a fueling station can have, as well as the fact that it's going on already paved land as opposed to getting rid of green space to pave it and create a gas station.
Thank you for reiterating that. I do believe I might have forgotten that, so I apologize. I think that for me, I am curious about the framing that EV stations will offset the negative environmental impacts of adding additional fuel pumps. I feel curious if you have thought about any ways to mitigate fuel that gets on the ground, or if there are any ways that you can help to mitigate the fact that a fuel station is environmentally harmful. I think something that I feel really concerned about is the negative impacts of a fuel station, which I don't want that to take away from the wonderful idea of having a grocery store there. So I just would love to understand if you have thought through any ways to reduce those impacts.
And through the chair to Commissioner Udabi, I just want to clarify that that was our staff analysis that saw that as a, that was not something that the petitioner brought to us as a way that he's mitigating any environmental impacts. That was just part of our staff analysis, looking at all of the factors. Because the environment is one of our factors in our criteria for map amendments. So I don't want it to sound like the petitioner was saying that as a mitigation for those environmental impacts. That was strictly our staff analysis.
Okay, beautiful. Thank you so much for clarifying that. And then I think that I still am having a difficult time understanding the particular need for having fuel stations at that corner. I think that, to me, I definitely see the need of having the grocery store and not the fuel stations, which is what we are speaking about, the request of being able to change the zoning classification to a B4 to allow for the fuel station. So I think I am not yet on board with the fuel stations, but I do appreciate you all sharing these perspectives and this analysis.
And through the chair, I did provide to the commission a chart with all of the B2 to B4 uses, because ultimately that's what we're looking at, is all uses that can go on the site, which is also what our analysis was based on. Obviously, not only are we looking at a fueling station, but it is one of the most intensive uses that are allowed in that, which is why the analysis did focus on that.
Thank you, Vice Chair. And Mr. Burr, if you could just clarify, you did in a previous meeting, this is a split zone. So B2, where they are proposing the pumps, correct me if I'm wrong, gas station is currently permitted.
Mr. Chair, it's actually flipped.
B4,
Yes.
yep, thank you. B4 is currently allows gas station conditional, so they would have to go through BC. So at least that component is permitted with conditionally. And the rezoning on the other parcel, they have to do that because the mechanism, how they pay for it and how they use the space is on the B2, but the pumps themselves can and could exist on the B4. Is that?
Through the chair, this is something that I still need full clarification from BC.
Okay.
But yes, this project would be allowed on the B4 zoning that's already existing on half of the site. This is one of the major issues with a split zoned parcel like we're looking at, which is why when we find them, even if it's not part of a rezoning, we attempt to rezone those parcels to make them one zoning classification.
Understood.
But yes, the half of the parcel could be used where the market is proposed. It serves. It's all part of one business.
Right. When you follow up with B-Seed, if B-Seed says they can operate the pumps on B4, the register and the store on B2 without having to have a unified rezoning, have they made indication that they could, or?
I do not believe so. I believe that this rezoning does have to go through for that to happen.
Okay. And not to throw a cog in the wheel here, if there is an opportunity for BC to be okay with the current zoning designations as they are, meaning the pumps can be in the B4, the retail can be in B2, and BC is okay with that relationship crossing zoning districts. If that is possible, can we leave the zoning the way it is without, introducing additional B4 into that B2?
I don't believe it would be possible.
You don't think it would be
Mr.
possible?
Chair.
Okay.
But I will also say, as I said, leaving a parcel split zoned is something we attempt not to do.
Right.
For these reasons. So.
Understood. And I
No,
guess.
and it's such a small site, which is also why PNDD found it to be, generally consistent. One of the things that they pointed out is it's such a small area that's being rezoned, and it's already adjacent to so many other B4 uses.
Okay. And then let me ask this question. Following our recommendation, one way or the other, if this BC between now and council says, oh, it's okay, would that communication be forwarded to city council, and then they would make the decision if that rezone is appropriate?
Through you, Mr. Chair, I don't foresee them allowing it.
Okay.
If they were to say it's okay, then this wouldn't have to move forward at this point. But BSEED will be very involved as I said, we're going to go to PNDD to do site plan review preemptively. It's not something that was on the books right now. He's going to do it before even finalizing the site plans, so that he can get the city's input that way, including those staff members that headed up the Fenkel corridor plan, and then also have to go through BSEED with the special land use, which also gives the public a great deal more opportunity to speak out on this project.
Thank you for answering my questions. Commissioner Russell.
Thank you, Chair. And this is for Ms. Timmer. I just want to make sure I'm understanding the comparative chart. R is for by right?
Through the chair to Commissioner Russell, yes, it is.
Okay. And then C is for conditional.
Yes, it is.
And if it's blank in that spot, it's not allowed.
That is correct. And if it has the C/R, that means that there's further regulations or restrictions that would allow it by right in some cases. Those are all the little nuances.
And when it's by right, that means it, as long as BC approves the plans and specs, it goes forward.
Through the chair, yes, although as I said, a lot of these uses would not be allowed, the B4 uses, which really limits the marketability of that site because it is split zoned.
And then C, conditional, means that then not only BC holds a hearing for that to make sure that
Yes,
everyone surrounding it is okay with it.
that is correct.
Thank you. That was all the question. Thank you, Chair.
All right. Thank you, Commissioner Russell. Good. Commissioners, are we good with questions of staff and the applicant? All right. I see no further questions. Can you reiterate your staff's recommendation, please?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Our recommendation is we recommend approval of the rezoning of the southern portion of this site from B2 to B4.
Thank you, Mr. Brewer. Commissioners, you've heard staff's recommendation. Is there an interest to make a motion? Commissioner Daniels. Thank you, Commissioner Daniels. Do we have a second?
Support.
Thank you, Commissioner Russell. We have a motion and support for staff's recommendation. All in support of approving staff's recommendation indicate so with the sign of aye.
Aye.
Aye. And all in opposition, sign of nay.
Nay.
All right. Note for the record, we have one nay. The motion passes. Staff's recommendation. Can you close this item, Mr. Brewer, with next steps and how this item may go forward?
Absolutely, Mr. Chair. So our next steps, as I said, meeting with PNDD to start looking at the site plan review. This will then, or at the same time, we will submit the legal descriptions and then the ordinance to city engineering and then the law department, and then get this to the city council to get on the planning and economic development standing committee. In the meantime, the petitioner has indicated that he's going to continue working with the community during that time and with PNDD, and then once it gets through city council and the rezoning is completed, that is when he will be allowed to start moving forward with the special land use hearing that he's going to need to do.
Got it. All right. Thank you.
Thank
you,
Chair.
Mr.
Thank you,
Chair.
Mr. Dabish. Thank you for
very
coming.
much for your time.
Thank you, sons, for coming as well. Good seeing you again. All right. There's no more public comment. I'm sorry. Okay. All right. Moving forward, next we have new business. We do not have any new business on our agenda. Staff reports. Mr. Gulak, do you have any staff reports?
Mr. Chair, there are none.
Okay. There are no staff reports. We will forego committee reports. Commissioners, do you have any member reports? I see no member reports. Mr. Gulak, do you have any communications?
Yeah, Chris Gulak, CPC staff. Director Todd just wanted me to communicate. I think that the City Council did approve the budget, and that included the NOF recommendations, and that's all he wanted me to pass on to you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. I will add one communication. Next week, starting next Thursday, Wednesday, Thursday, the National Planning Conference, which will be here in Detroit, starts next week. It's about a week long. Am I early? I'm good? Okay. You gave me the look. I thought I was a week early. Yep. So it's next Thursday through Tuesday. All the planners throughout the country will be here. This is the first time the conference has been here in Detroit, probably since the early 90s, I believe. So it is a big deal, and a lot of people are excited. So if you are interested in seeing what's going on, this will be the place to be starting next Wednesday, Thursday. That's my only announcement. With that, if there's nothing else, the time is 6:37, and we will call this meeting adjournment.